Bait your hooks, settle in, grab a drink. It's time. Set the Drag podcast with Sean Johnson. We are live, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time here in Chalmette, Louisiana, with our special guest, Granger Hieronymus.
Yeah,
Greek, Greek,
it's all Greek
yes,
to me.
all Greek, yeah. Well, all of us are. So, before we get rolling with our special guest, I just want to thank everybody for coming on. First of all, just saying thank you. This is episode 11. Thank you for following. Thank you for liking. Thank you for forwarding. And all we're going to do is get better as the time goes. But before we start, I want to make sure you follow and go check out this website. I just slid across your page. Check out the website throughout the broadcast. Check out their website again. There's some special gifts on there that can help all of us, especially our bass fishermen,
Yeah, man.
especially our bass fishermen, can help all of us catch a beast, catch a beast. And we got some special gift. We got a special gift, a special surprise for one person out of this broadcast today that will receive a special gift. But you got to go to our Instagram pages and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our Instagram pages, guys. That's it. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our Instagram page. So to get the show started, Granger, he's a fellow angler. We met at the Kissimmee Chain. What was that in? Oh no, that was in the what month? I forgot
That
what
was
month.
the Kissimmee chain. We actually met at Lake Rosalie.
Lake Rosalie. That's it. Lake
Lake
Rosalie.
Rosalie.
Yes, yes. The funny thing was that was the second day, and I had already told the first day out the roof and caught two fish the first day.
Dude,
So
I was right there with
the second day, I just went out and I said, you know what? I want to catch a big fish. I want to catch a big fish, and the Lord blessed me actually with the biggest fish of my life on the second day. The biggest fish of my life on the second day, and I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And then as we're fishing, I ran into Granger and we just chatted up. You gonna hit that cold? No, I'm gonna hit the next cold, and we just did that the whole time. We respected
you.
each other's space. And we didn't jump into each other's area and then that. And then we got into a area that was maybe 5 yards apart, I think it was, maybe
Yeah, if
five
that,
two
man,
in
it
the
was just tight.
canal. It was tight in the canal, and and we just caught a bunch back in that canal, and I was shocked, and I was saying, you know what, we've caught more fish in this canal than out in the open, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm coming back to Rosalie in this canal, but I gotta wait a whole nother year before I'm back in the Kissimmee chain, unless I
Dude,
do the native. Native have the tournament
oh, do
on.
they?
Yeah, native have that $1,000 every hour for the biggest fish
That's right.
in on the
That's
chain, but it's during the winter. I think it's in December. I don't know how December is for Florida, but it's in December or November. But they're back in the chain, the
I
native,
don't
and
mind. I don't mind fishing December here.
okay,
It's
okay,
yeah, I don't
that's
mind it.
okay. All right. So Granger, where you get your fishing start from?
Um, well, it start like my dad took me fishing. The kind of fishing we did, it wasn't. It was like, what the heck are you doing, man? It was like catfishing off the bank. It's like big steel leaders, like saltwater stuff,
Oh yeah,
and it was. I look back and it's kind of troubling to see that that's all we caught was catfish, and
that.
that's because we were
But you
throwing
always had
just.
something to eat.
You didn't want to eat these things, man. These are the
Oh,
saltwater, those steelhead cats, and
okay.
just nasty fish. Um,
Oh, I thought a big blue
but
one.
No, no, that thing they're gross, man.
Yeah.
They're full of worms. Um,
Oh
not good
man.
eating.
So
Um,
if it's full of worms, that's similar to our big not ain't gonna say redfish, but our big drum down here. Our
yeah,
drums
like
are full of worms.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I grew up doing that. We were always on the water. I did a lot of sailing growing up, and down like in Hudson, Florida. It's north of Tampa Bay. But
Gotcha.
did that. Spent a lot of time in the flats when I was a kid, doing like some trout fishing too. Uh, but that's where it all started, and ended up. I got out of high school and got my captain's license, and started running charters out of Tampa Bay, and like redfish, trout, snook, that whole deal. Did that for a little bit. Joined the Coast Guard. Fast forward 4 years. Did a lot of fishing in upstate New York. Fell in love with fly fishing. And for a while, that's all I wanted to do was fly fish. And got out, spent the next 6 months fishing. That's all I did. When I got out of the Coast Guard, I spent every day I was driving to the coast, Tampa Bay, and fishing redfish, snook trout, micro tarpon, and that's what I was doing.
I
And
see the fly fish behind your picture.
yeah, that's me and my son Finley. He was like 1.5 there. That's in
Yeah.
Kentucky, hitting the river up in Kentucky a couple years ago. Um,
Little brown, rainbow trout, or that's a brown trout.
no, that's a rainbow. Yep,
Rainbow.
it's a
Yeah.
nice little bow. But
Yeah.
that's on the Cumberland River. So
Nice. Nice. Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
uh, that that one. By the end of the trip, Finley he would just because I had the net hanging off my back, so he would reach back and grab the net when I got a fish, and he'd hand it to me. I'm like, we got a system going now.
So
But
he should be in kayaks now, huh?
I've man, if you haven't checked out my YouTube, I've got a few shorts with him,
Right.
and they're out there just having fun.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he likes the top water bite, so
Right.
it scares him. It scares him just about every time they blow up on it. So
Right. Right. That's different from me. I'm not a big top water fisherman at all. I'm not a top water angler.
yeah,
But I try it every now and then. But I
dude,
do
it's
know
it's
I know I'm missing some fish in the morning.
yeah, and you're missing some big fish too, like a big bite. Especially get like a 4 to 5 inch like spook style walking bait,
Mhm.
and they crush it. They crush it. It'll bring some big girls out of play. So,
Wow. Wow.
but
Well, I know you're gonna take care of that for me. So I can't
yeah,
wait to get it on and practice and just practice with it really. So we we talk about fishing, but the main thing, guys, is that Granger produces beautiful lures, and we want everyone to check out all these lures that he produces handmade. He paints them by himself. He's extremely talented, and we happened to run into each other at the launch. And when he showed me one of his lures, I was like, man, I couldn't believe he made it. It actually looked like somebody painted it somewhere in China or something, actually, and he just had it on his pole. But when he said he created and made it, I was like, man, you got to come on the podcast and showcase your work and your talent and try to see if we could get some of these lures further than where you have them right now. That's it right
yeah,
there. And then the other thing, guys, that really caught me was that Granger's spirit was very humbling, and I knew he was a child of the God, a child of God, and by the way he spoke and his comments and conversation, that drew him towards me more than anything, and and I knew he believed in Jesus Christ. And so, if you believe in Jesus Christ, we are we are a family already as one. And so,
100%.
with that sold me into him from day one. And I said, I'm going to sow my own seed because I told you that day, I said, hey, I'm going to purchase mine first. And then I'm going to do one where we could give a giveaway and this and that. But I'm going to purchase mine as sowing a seed into this man's family, into his life, into what he creates. And so we did that today, guys. So we have a special for you guys that we're going to drop, and we're going to let Granger show it off to you, and it's going to be on our on our Instagram pages.
Yeah.
The special going to be on our Instagram pages on tomorrow. So get prepared for this. This is
Yeah.
the good news we got for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that bait right there. That's that one's the bass candy.
That's it.
That's it right there. So that's a. This is probably, I've been told by some other people that throw it, probably the easiest bait to throw if you're wanting to get into like glide baits and swim baits. Um, this is probably the easiest one. It's only like an ounce and a half maybe. Super slow sinking bait, um, and I've modified it. So this one I bought the blank and then I modified the blank and then I painted it. And so it gives this really, really nice wide glide, or you can chop it, burn it through the water. That bait will do it all. Um,
Right.
it's and if y'all have any questions about tackle or how to throw it, whatever
So
hit us
give us a setup. Give us a setup for someone who is wanting to get into the glide bait, into
yeah.
throwing your glide bait weights and size, as far as pole size, what type of pole, reel size, what type of line. What would you suggest they are looking to do?
So right now I am throwing a 7.3 heavy arc rod, and it's a fast action. Um, and I'll throw that with at least 17-pound fluorocarbon. If I got the big enough reel, I'll put 20 on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's you want at least 17-pound fluoro, and then don't. I'll for that setup, I'll throw baits up to like 2.5 ounces. Like this is another one. This bait right here, this is my resin bait.
Wow.
That thing weighs 2.5 ounces, but it's a very slow sinking bait. But
Wow.
it seems heavy, but they throw very well. They throw true. You don't you don't get a lot of tangle up, and you can zing them out there, man. But once you get your rod tuned up and your reel tuned up with them, you're gonna enjoy it big time. And all man, it's if you're doing it right, it's all just a chop of the reel. Like I'll do like a 7-1 ratio, and it's just like quarter turns, half turns, and that bait just starts doing its deal, starts swimming.
So I got a big tournament May 31st where we're gonna be around cypress trees. Can you give me like a illustration on how would I fish those trees with that lure with baby the baby bass?
yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
If as long as you're throwing fluoro, he's look for a shad spawn. Look for those white birds on the bank if you can. Those white birds, you'll be pushing shad if they've got a spawn.
Right.
That's where I would start. If you can find that, man, you'd be set. But zing that sucker all the way up shallow, because this bait is so slow sinking. You can afford to get it super shallow and then bring it across the top. Especially if you got fallen timber, you're gonna bring that sucker right across the top, and they're gonna just blow up on it. Further, yeah. But don't be afraid to flip with it either. Like flipping outside of reeds and stuff like that. I've got plenty. Just dropping it, and you look at those dudes that do shiner fishing. They take those big dead shiners,
Right.
and they just flip them in front of the reeds and just let them sink, and then they'll hook up. And
Wow.
so what I usually do, I'll do that sometimes, and I like bait pop.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of bait pop.
Bait pop.
So,
Bait
yeah,
pop. Where are you, bait pop? Oh man. No. I got bait pop. I got a whole bag of them. That's the funny thing. I just bought every color.
that's the good
Tell us
stuff,
about
man.
the bait pop because you're about to get me excited because I had put bait pop up. I wasn't catching nothing
Really?
deep. I wasn't catching nothing deep with it, you
Yeah,
know, using active target.
yeah. No,
But
so like I'll lather the tail up, like the brush tail.
gotcha.
I'll lather that sucker up with bait pop, man, and it just gives you that scent. And when it's sinking in front of those reeds and you're just flipping it, it just kind of like does this deal,
Wow.
and they smell it and they're on it. But it's also glide baits are famous for getting followers, but
Right.
not getting takes. And
Right.
I'm 100% convinced now that the bait pop will help your hookup ratio and get those fish to commit more.
1 second, Ranger. 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah, yeah. While he's getting that, I do. I tie these up. These are I call these bass crack. But talking about bait pop, I'll lather that in the collar, and then it stays on there all day long. And so these are like some bladed jigs that I tie. Um, Probably some of the most effective baits that you can throw when you're fishing grasses and stuff. I love them.
Wow. Man, I had gave up on bait pop, and I think I bought like 6 different. Every time I went to a store, but you know I got it in Gunnersville.
Yeah,
I got it in Gunnersville, and I was like, okay, let's see if it works. Active target. I could see it. They
yeah,
do. They do. I could see the lure, but and I just didn't have any luck with it, so I put it away. But I figured it works when you have pros
yeah.
behind it,
Actually,
because I think
I actually got off the phone with Bait Pop the other day, um, and they got a new one coming out, and it's enhanced. So it's like if you're using the forward facing, that it's gonna make it light up. So I know they were talking to like Wheeler and stuff. He said, and like they're looking at like a little 5-inch minnow at like 90 feet, and they need to be able to see it. So they enhanced that stuff. So this new formula that they got should really make it pop on sonar.
wow,
So
wow,
yeah,
it was already popping. I was using it, putting it on my fluorocarbon, so I
yeah,
could see the whole line, you know. But
right.
it, I guess I'm gonna have to go back at it now. I have to go back at it now.
You know, I think it helps. I do.
You
I
do?
think it helps.
I've used Power Bait Fuel, Slicky, Liquid. I've used all those and Spike it. I mean, I'm telling you, I used everything in the book, and I don't think uh, none of it works. I don't. That's my opinion. I don't think none of it works because I caught
Yeah,
my largest fish off a gold rattle trap with nothing on it.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Who knows? I've seen plenty of people though, man. They're not catching fish, but then they put the pop on and they start smoking them. So it might be very temperamental fish. You know, every scenario is different, man.
Right, right.
So
The Bait Pop, you know the website?
um, I actually got some bait pop on my website.
Or you got it on your website? Okay.
Yeah, right now I got the Scott Martin the 5-pack. You actually save a decent amount of money if you buy them like the 5-pack compared to like one tube is like $10,
I
and
know.
like the 3 tubes is like 25, and then yeah, no, you save more money if you buy a bulk of it.
All right. Well, I gotta get back to the bait pop, but let's go over Florida again right quick.
Yeah.
I had bought packs of these gambler lures, bro,
Mm-hmm.
for Florida, but I caught my biggest fish off a rattle trap, gold rattle trap, and I got packs of these things. I was loaded up for Florida with gambler. When I say gambler, gambler know my name before I got to Florida. And I threw these gambler, and I'm telling you, I caught maybe three or four decent fish, but not 20 plus. Like I see people every day, like Chris Mitchell is catching them like out the wazoo, but he's
Yeah.
using the swim wire too. But what's the best lure when you come to Florida to use?
That's a loaded question, man. A lot of people will say the black and blue Cinco, or like a black with a blue tip Cinco. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
standard Florida bait. Um, a lot of chatterbaits are probably the most popular. Um,
The gold, the gold chatterbait.
yeah, like the gold shiner chatterbaits, and honestly, for me, if I'm top water man, I'm top water all day, and
Show me your
then
top water. Show me your top water you're gonna throw.
let's see. So this one here, this one is one that I paint. This is called Bone Shaker. It's like a bone color with the red gill, but then it's also got like a gold flashback. Kind of flashes like green to gold in the
Okay.
sun. Um, so that one, and this bait's probably caught like 15, 20 fish on it in the last little bit there. I've been throwing
Wow.
that one for quite a bit. Um,
On braid or fluorocarbon?
I do actually my top water setup is mono, is 15-pound mono.
There you
And
go.
if
Little
like
stretch, little stretch.
dude, I'm telling you, since I switched to mono with my like like I got like a super spook rod just for these baits. I got a
Mm-hmm.
rod and set up just for those baits. And since I switched to mono, my hookup ratio is like gone up through the roof because it just that little bit of stretch and you just kind of lean into it, man. Just lean into it and it stretches and you're on.
They are.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy
Yeah.
how effective it is. Um, like this little dude here. I don't know if it's hard to see. It's got red flake in it,
Okay.
but like a bone color with a red flake. That's a really good one. Um,
Especially when the sun come up a little, huh?
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, if like I've got a bait. I talked about that black and blue Cinco.
Yeah.
I've got a bait. It's a black. I'm sold out right now. I need to paint some more, but it's a black one with blue tip, and it's got blue flake on it. And so that on like really overcast days, that one is fire. So
Yeah. Top water.
yeah, top water.
Wait, I gotta put that on my next invoice now. Cause
Yeah,
now you're about to get me into this top water fishing. And I have a couple of weeks off, so I can actually just go out and practice
and
just top water.
so the way I fish top water, I, I don't know if everyone else does. I'm fishing it super slow. And I'm just like twitch, twitch, let it sit, twitch, like stupid slow.
Slower than a frog.
Oh yeah, and it just I don't know something about that slow. It you feel them out. If you're not getting any bites doing like super slow, then obviously speed up a bit. But No, I always start out super slow, and I notice I catch myself because as I start catching fish, I start
Right,
speeding up. I'm working it faster, covering more water, and I stop
right,
getting bites. So then I got to think about it and slow it right back down.
right.
Um, and then you start hooking up again.
So
But
out of your top water and the uh, baby bass, if you had to take one of those for one tournament, which one would it take?
good night. What time of year?
Ooh, let's say it's coming up summer.
Summer. I do this guy right here.
Summer is on its way. It's gonna be
Yeah,
here before you know it. It's gonna be 90 degrees. We're gonna be in tank tops and shorts on the kayak in a minute.
yeah. That taking one man that just gives me anxiety thinking about taking one bait.
Taking one,
But
cause see, we got a lake out here. We got a lake called Caddo. Honestly, we could take one lure and go fish
yeah,
that lake, and that can be a wacky rig, or you could take a black and blue jig, something black and blue, one lure, and you could
yeah,
fish that Caddo Lake the whole day, the whole day. For me, I could take a Cinco magworm fatty, black and blue, and fish the whole lake. Don't have to bring another pole out,
yeah,
and probably catch a limit quick, and keep calling out.
yeah. It's I would love to say top water that I would take that, but you know top water bite it dies off. You know
Yeah,
it does depending on the weather. If you got overcast a little bit, later in the day and the wind is kind of picking up a bit, then yeah, I'd keep throwing it.
right.
But those fish, they go for cover, man. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's tough. I would probably throw the glide bait all day long, um, if I had to pick one.
So
But
I've been checking the glide baits out on YouTube around docks, and
yes,
and they look awesome around docks.
uh
And
huh,
I love fishing docks, so I'm anxious to put one in my hand, tie it on, and just practice around docks actually, just to see.
yeah. Now when you're throwing them, make sure you're watching behind them. Don't watch the bait, watch behind them because they will draw out some absolute thumpers and just
Right.
start like creeping up and schooling up behind them. And then once you get, they'll just go back to where they were. It's a good locator bait. So
So you
once
know
you
they
see
did.
where they come out of, take your Cinco or whatever you got and throw it up in
Right.
there, and you'll hook up.
Right.
Um, but if they're not wanting to do that, I know probably I'm still trying to break a double digit bass. Um, I I've had
Me
them
too.
on. I've had them on this bait right here. I've had them on, and I remember it because I'm sitting here throwing out, and I see this monster just following it, gliding with it like this, and I'm like, my mouth is hanging open. I'm drooling. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you gonna take it or what? I threw that bait in there like 3 or 4 times, and then finally she just comes up and just engulfs it. And they're so fat they can't get their body out of the water. Their head just comes out, just going nuts. That's what she did. And then just completely just spits the hook.
Oh
But
man.
that's one upgrade that I just made on these baits. Before, the first version is just a straight eye, and then on the second one, I put swivels.
Oh,
And so
gotcha.
they swivel. So like when you get a big heavy bait like that start flapping and flailing, that's a lot of momentum, and
Yeah.
they'll unhook themselves and pop the hook out. So that's the good thing about those swivels. It gives it that movement and twists and turns with the fish, and you will stay hooked up a lot
What,
better with those
what type of
swivels.
what type of hooks are those that come on the baits?
Pretty much everything. I've got KVD triple grips, or the Mustad, the lockjaw hooks. Like all the topwater baits come with the lockjaw hooks because a lot of people throw them for saltwater too, and they hold up to the salt really well.
Or they look for them big redfish.
Oh yeah, no that's fun stuff.
That's fun stuff. Yeah,
It's
especially in the kayak.
no,
Especially, I would love to catch a redfish on a glide bait.
dude, I did it a while back. I went out and I caught him on this bait. I promised, like, so this bait is really slow sinking. In the salt water changes the buoyancy of it,
Right.
and so it's almost a wake bait, but it's just right under the surface. That redfish came up. It's like somebody dropped a grenade in the water. Absolutely scared me to death. I'm like, and then
I'm gonna have to
dude,
see about that one because where I'm at, I'm like 20 minutes away from like redfish heaven.
you'd have a blast out there with it, I'm telling you.
Because I'm close to an area called Delacroix. It's
Okay.
called Delacroix, and it's nothing but big grass flats where the reds tail all day. Especially when the sun's starting to go down, they start tailing, looking for
Yeah.
crabs. And so throwing that past them and just letting it come right back. Oh, I know they'll come and kill it. I know they'll
Oh, they'll
come and
smoke it, man. It will
oh,
smoke it.
I know. Because they've smoked this one already.
I bet they do. Yeah.
Yeah, because they see that big tail and they come and get it. They come and get it. The only problem is I got to let them totally engulf it and try to take off, and then I have to
Yeah.
hook them because they spit it out quick. They're pretty smart about down here in this salt water in Louisiana.
Yeah. I've been. That's one thing I've wanted to go up there and do some fly fishing for them.
It's the funniest thing you just said that because a friend of mine, he just passed, who actually brought me fly fishing for the first time in my life, and he
Yeah.
just had an accident at work and didn't come back from it. And when you said that, that brought me back to that memory there. And rest in peace there. But yeah, man, he fly fishing. I had got all into it, bought all the flies and rods and stuff, and then I just honestly gave it away. Just gave it
Yeah.
away because I didn't have no one to actually go with. But they got a lot of kayakers that do it in the. I did kayak, but
Yeah.
it's just too much.
Yeah.
And I know it's all in the wrist. I know it's all in the wrist and stuff, but
yeah, it depends on what you're throwing, like how big of a rod. Yeah. But
yeah,
no, that once you start catching fish on fly, I'm telling you,
you're not gonna want to go back.
you'll be hard pressed to go back to conventional stuff, and that's the way I was. But I made that transition back over to, and I can comfortably do both now. And
Right.
but when I can get a chance, I'm in. I can go to the river and catch trout all day.
So right now, what is the biggest fish you've caught?
Salt freshwater.
Your biggest bass.
Biggest bass. I'll be honest. I never really scaled them. I've caught some 8s, I know, but I like so
kayak?
far this. Yeah, out of the kayak. So far this year, my biggest one is like 6, 7. Like I've caught 2 6s this year, and so those were good. But like in the previous years, I never really had a scale.
But you live right there, close to what? You close to Kissimmee Chain. You close to a bunch of beautiful lakes, though.
Yeah,
So,
Kissimmee Chain's about 45. Closest one you can get about 45 minutes away.
and then you have Lake Okeechobee. Do you have that lake you can get to?
That one's a bit of a drive. Probably I think like maybe a 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive. I've never fished it, but I would love to.
Yeah, and then you have what's up another major lake down that way? Harris Chain, right?
Harris Chain, yeah, you got that one. Like the reservoir, like Rodman, Stick Marsh. Everyone knows Stick Marsh, like Fellsmere.
Yeah.
That's pretty common or sought after. A lot of people come down here and want to go there because it's got some beasts in it.
Yeah, that so I get kind of jealous of the Florida thing because I see you guys fishing every day.
Yeah,
I see y'all fish every day. I don't know what Chris do, and there's a few other cats. I'm like, how are they fishing again today? And they're just throwing on their catch board, 19 and a half, 18 and three quarters,
that's pocket
20.
change, man. That's pocket change.
Right. And I'm like, these
Wow.
cats are catching these monsters every day. Like, I would not want to be in a month-long tournament with someone who lives on Harris Chain or Kissimmee Chain. It's too much
Yeah,
comp. Not fair. It's not fair. Because
man.
where I live in the south part of Louisiana, so it's more salt water.
Right,
So our bass gets gobbled up quick. They don't survive too long.
right.
The bigger fish are up north of Louisiana, and that's a
How
4 or
far?
5 hour drive.
Like is so like Caddo is like 4 or 5 hours from you.
Cattle 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah.
5 hours.
Mm,
So I could go to Gunnersville the same amount of time I could get to cattle.
right.
Take me 5 hours to get to Gunnersville, 5 hours to get to cattle.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it's a lot of driving for a weekend, man.
then we gotta stay. We gotta stay somewhere. And you gotta
Yeah,
eat. Those tournaments are starting to get expensive because for Bassmaster we at what 295.
yeah.
Because when I came to Florida, it was $1,000.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's all it was. Like that
Yeah,
month, that 1 month of February,
yeah.
I did I did like 4 tournaments that month, and I was so like I got a third job to cover it. I'm like I got to think and get a third job to go fishing, man. All these tournaments, and that's what I did.
Because what they're like
But
$100 a tournament, like the state
some
tournament.
yeah, like 60 bucks for for our turn like a local trail, and then 100 bucks for like Ocalapalooza. Like I hundred, it was around 100 120 bucks for Ocalapalooza. Um, and then
And then
Bassmaster.
Bassmaster, that's $300. Stop with the
Yeah,
295. Yeah, yeah, that's
you
300.
round up, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
300. All I could do is see it getting higher with
it
everything, with
will.
the cost. Yeah, with the
I don't.
cost.
I don't see.
We
There's definitely no going down. They've set the standard,
yeah, there's no
and
going
so
down. I mean, our small state group, Bam Bassin, was like $50 at one point. Now we're up to like 65. I can see that going up because the cost of everything. When you see
right.
eggs almost $20 now, of course everything gonna go up. So it costs to play. So you gotta spend the money to be in this game.
Yeah, and man, I don't. And it's just expensive, and I struggle with. I'll be honest, I struggle with the idea of continuing to tournament fish if it keeps going up because it's the
Yeah,
reason why I started tournament fishing was to help promote baits and to meet other anglers and
right.
try to get baits in their hands that they could actually see that there's other stuff than just like the packaged stuff out there, from China. And you know,
Exactly.
there's
Exactly. Well, you could count on me. You could count on me, Granger, from now on because I'm gonna master this glide bait stuff.
dude, I hope
I'm
you
ready
I hope you do.
because my next thing is to start actually videoing on the water, which
Yeah.
I do photography and video for a living, and I teach it for a living. So when I get on the water, I don't want to do any of it
Yeah.
because it's like this is my break, this is my peace, this is my quality time, not work. So when I'm on the water, I don't want to feel like I'm back working. But I do know people love to see that live catch, that live you talking, tell them what you're throwing. They love that stuff. And now you have the 360 cameras on the kayaks, so they can actually see the whole setup, what you're
Those things
doing
are
the whole
great.
time. So
Yeah.
and I've seen some people pages go from little to um, little followers to millions of followers just because they're showing out videos and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've recently, I started my YouTube channel, Hieronymus Outdoors. Um, but it's growing slowly. It's just, starting something out of nothing,
Got to start something from nothing. You do.
and
You
it
do.
can be tough, but, you look at some of these dudes that have had these channels, they've had these channels for like 10, 15 years,
Some of them
you
have.
know,
Some of
and
them
they
have.
started from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I look at all the analytics and whatnot, and they say, yeah, it's a great time to be starting a YouTube channel.
Right.
But of course, YouTube's going to say that, you know. But
They got to
who
blow.
really knows,
They
man?
got to blow the. They got to blow the smoke.
Yeah, they
They
they,
got
they
to blow
try,
the smoke. Yeah, they got
but
to
it's
blow the
like
smoke.
this stuff like with me and Finley, my son. That with his reactions, man, that's what gets the most views.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
it's like
yeah.
pure, genuine, reaction and fun, and just clean
Right,
fun, man.
right.
It's what it's all about. Is fishing is taking a kid fishing, man.
That's it. That's it.
Preserving it. Get them out in God's creation. Get them out from
Yeah.
behind the screens, and
Get them from
let
that
them
TV.
enjoy it.
Get
Yeah,
them from them games. Get them from them games, man. Get
yeah,
them from them games. Let him learn life. And he can survive for the rest of his life. He'll always have something to eat.
yeah,
He learned how to
yeah,
fish. He learned how to fish. He'll always have means to getting something to eat if
yeah,
push comes to shove. Because we don't know what the world coming to. Because every day is something new. So
yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
it's like you wonder why Jesus um, picked fishermen, man, because we don't give up. We always keep going, no matter how tough it is.
keep going, no matter
He keep
what.
burning out.
It, that's amazing that he picked fishermen out of everybody he could have chosen. He picked his disciples to be fishermen, anglers,
Yeah,
who never quit. Who never quit. I mean,
no,
they got scared at times. They got scared like we do. We get scared sometimes.
yeah,
They got anxious. They were anxious at times. They were impatient a lot of times, but they kept persevering, and through it all, they made it. But that's
yeah.
amazing that he did pick anglers to move forward with his word. That is.
It's kind
I
of funny.
still want to know what type of fish it was that he was able to multiply and feed 5,000.
Yeah,
That's because I don't see where they say it was a certain fish ever in nobody's Bible. But
no, no,
I just want to know what type of fish. If I'm blessed to get to heaven and be able to ask a question, what fish was it? What fish was
it
it
had to have been a
was it a
saltwater fish.
tilapia?
I don't
Tilapia, catfish? Was it redfish?
because they
Yeah.
well at that point when they were right next to the Sea of Galilee because after they crossed over,
So
I gotta check. But I don't know. I think it was saltwater fish.
probably had to be a saltwater fish next to the sea. So it could have been like a Goliath
But
fish, maybe.
yeah,
Whatever it was, they all ate well and it was just fish and bread. Ain't no
Yeah.
baked potato, ain't no macaronis, no peas. Fish and bread. Fish and
That's
bread.
it.
That's it. So, at the end of the day, miracles. That's another miracle right there. So
100%.
but if you can give advice to an angler who's just starting off in the kayak game, what advice would you give them just starting off in the kayak fishing? Not just tournaments, but just like getting into
Just fishing.
kayak fishing. Yeah, not tournaments,
Um,
because that's another playing field right there.
no, that's a whole nother deal. Um, I would say get you some. If you're not comfortable yet, find you some friends that are in that area, around your area, maybe a local just like club that just likes to go on the weekends and have, hang out, have fun. You could pick up a lot from them. But like me personally, it's just like I just want to go out and just be in creation. And so it's like it's not it is and it isn't about fishing. So don't get burnt out or bent out of shape if you don't catch fish.
Right.
And that's my biggest thing because I would go out and I'd maybe catch one fish when I was like saltwater fishing.
Right.
And this is like time I was drawing closer to the Lord, and he was working on me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was more about just being out there, just getting comfortable, in that scene, and that's in the situations that occur and arise, whether it be some weather that pops up, um, or if you're just not catching fish, man. It's more about just spending time with him and and just talking to him, and he'll bless you with fish.
Oh yeah.
He always does.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Every time I take off, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm praying before I take off,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and, and I'm gonna ask for my limit,
yeah.
but
We all do.
I asked for the limit, but I was told to be more specific in our prayers, to be more specific as far as the limit, like as far as size, say what size you need, what size you want, in the prayers. And then I started becoming more specific in my prayers as far as what I need or want based on the tournament. And it's
Yeah,
funny because I would miss 3 or 4 fish that I've actually prayed for.
yeah, dude.
You know,
Like I'll say, Lord, help me get a couple of nice bites. He gave me the bites. Lord, help me to catch these big fish.
right,
You know,
right, right, right,
and
right.
help
That's
those fish stay on.
yeah,
But if
that's
you watch my YouTube videos, it's like the whole time I got a fish, Lord, please, Lord, help me get this fish in.
get them
And
in the
it's
boat.
like you never give up. You don't ever give up, and don't ever give Satan the satisfaction of
Right.
letting you give up, because you never know what the Lord has planned for you and in store for you, because you could fish up to the last second, and that could be your fish, man.
That
Um,
could be
and I've done it with tournaments, man. Like I caught my last fish with like a minute and a half left, and
wow.
I got my limit. And it's like all glory to God, because he was. I didn't give up, and I was expecting. You pray expectingly. You know,
Right.
as long as you're in His will, you can pray with authority. There's nothing wrong with
Mhm.
that.
Right.
You can ask the Lord, which in sometimes you get blessed with it, sometimes you don't. Either way, it's a growing experience in your testimony.
Facts.
Um, but no, never give Satan the satisfaction of giving up, because that's all he wants you to do is give up, and then put your tail between your legs and be defeated when we can't be defeated, because when you're when you know the Almighty, you can't be defeated. So there's
Amen.
no losing.
No losing.
So yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Preach on,
So yeah.
brother. Preach on for sure. So I had a couple of times where I wanted to put my tail between my legs, sell all my stuff, give it up, and friends will say, "Man, you've come so far, bro, to quit now. You've come so far to quit." And it took me a while to look back to where I came from to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep pressing. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
pressing, and I'm gonna keep moving forward because uh, my dad was my first coach, and if we looked like we was quitting or giving up, that was a whipping,
Yeah.
or there was more laps,
Yeah.
or you was getting fussed at. So now at 48, and I look back at it, and Dad's been gone 2 years, and I'm on the water. My last tournament, I needed 2 fish in 30 minutes, and I caught 2 fish. I actually caught 3 and called the last one, all within 30 minutes. And I was like, that's from perseverance and not quitting. And I owed it all to God. And I was so thankful because I was sitting in like 60, no, I was sitting in like 70th place. And then I was able to move up to 50 right at
Yeah.
right at 50. So I was like, look at that. I made top 50 cut.
Yeah, man.
So, but not quitting, that's the key,
Yeah.
is not to
You,
quit at all.
you're gonna have those days, man, that it just seems that everything's going wrong.
Right,
And it's that point you just kind of take a minute
right,
and
right,
you know
right,
pray through it,
right.
and then just get your head level again. But
You're
it can
right.
be tough.
You're right. A friend of mine said that this is therapy for veterans and himself, and it's God's artwork for the greatest art work.
Yeah.
He just posted that, and see if you can read it there.
Nice. Oh no, yeah. I'll tell you what, being fisherman, it's like to see as many sunrises as we get to see, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like every time, man, it's like the Lord is just showing off because it's
Coming
so
off.
cool.
That's
It,
one of the prettiest things of fishing tournaments is that sunrise. Is that
yeah,
sunrise. Now I'm a photographer, and here's the crazy part: I don't take none of the pictures.
yeah,
I actually just look at it and just look at it, and then I go, okay, time to start fishing. Because I don't
yeah.
like fishing when I can't see my hand in my face.
No,
That bothers me. It's a little scary. There's times we go out and I can barely see my hand in my face. So I wait
yeah,
for the sun to crack the sky. And when the sun cracked the sky and that sun is coming up, oh man, it's beautiful.
yeah.
And
To
it
me,
seems like it wakes up nature because then you start hearing the birds.
you start hearing the birds, you start hearing fish popping.
Right.
Um, I'm telling to me like that sunrise because like a lot of our tournaments, you can't lines in isn't until like 7, and by that time the sun is already kind of peeking over and
Yeah.
coming up. It's an intimate time. If you let it
Yep.
be, it's a very intimate time with the Lord. Just you take that time and
Oh,
give thanks,
yeah.
and just but it's a very special time, and a lot of people, man, they can't experience it. But I urge everyone that has the ability to
Yeah.
get out and at least see the sunrise in a nice, peaceful, serene
Right.
environment. It'll relieve some anxiety and some stress that you have.
Right.
So, hundred
I don't
percent,
think boats get that experience because all the noise.
man. It's just
They
full
run and
throttle.
gun. I don't think they get it. We get it because we're in a quiet setting and we're
Yeah,
trying to sneak around spots and get in spots nobody are at, nobody's sitting in, and before you know it, that sun is coming up. Like the one of the prettiest parts of my Florida trip was going out of Tiger, and going out of Tiger, and I was on the south end. So when I was going out, they had the boat docks on the sides,
Yeah.
but it was so foggy. All I can see was straight fog till I really got into the lake. But it was so foggy, and I have it actually on my Instagram page where I'm going straight, and I had to video it because I was like, I don't see nothing but fog. But when
Yeah.
the sun cracked the sky, it actually you know turned out to be a pretty good day. But that first day scared the first day of practice out there scared me because normally I'm comfortable in that big Hobie, but the wind had shifted on us and I was
Yeah.
going topsy turvy, and I was like, oh no, it's time for me to get off the water.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if it's super foggy like that, throw top water.
But
Absolutely.
I gotta get top water. Like,
Uh,
look,
I got you one.
this. I spent all my little money, all my little snowball money on this popper
Yeah.
that popper here.
Yeah.
I spent all my snowball money, and now I can't get a snowball. I I caught about 3 fish off of it. That's a yellow magic,
Yeah.
another Chinese lure, yellow magic. That 3 fish in Toledo been off of it, and that was it. Took it off. I was like, okay. Because I had one came up and hit it and didn't get caught with troubles on, and I was like, wait a minute, how you didn't get stuck?
It's incredible how they don't sometimes, man.
When they come and hit it, like you
Yeah.
came and almost knocked it out the water, but didn't get stuck.
And like those instances, I'll get right back in there as fast as I can,
Yeah,
and I'll work it faster at that point,
get the
and
attention.
get it's like they stun that bait fish or whatever it is, and then you just kind of like walk it really fast, and
Right, right,
more times than not they'll come back and like crush it again, as long as they don't feel those hooks,
right, right.
which I don't understand how they don't in the first place,
And
but sometimes
I don't know either, because they hit the whole thing. So I'm not gonna hold you too long because we almost at an hour. But I wanted to know what's your go-to snack while you're on that water.
um man, I, if I eat at all,
Oh
um
no, I gotta eat something. No, eight
you
hours.
yeah, like you do that intermittent fasting, man. It'll
I,
help you.
I've been doing that since. I've been doing it now since Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
So 11 to 7. Been doing it 11 to 7.
Yeah.
So the last tournament, it was tough because I couldn't eat anything to 11. So when 11 hit, I was peanut butter crackles,
Yeah.
crackers up. But
So
the
if
snack,
if I eat anything, it'll be um like grass fed, like a grass fed beef stick or something like that. Like
got it.
I'll while I'm moving spots,
Right.
I'll down a couple of those. I had a tournament this past Saturday, and I ate a whole bag of like mangoes. Like as I'm moving spots, like in the video, you'll see me just random time, just like mouth full, just like look like a chipmunk, and
Wow.
just shoveling in food while I can. So I'm not.
How you did on the tournament?
That our for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. This past weekend, it was in Lake Garcia, which is it's on the other side of the Kissimmee chain, like towards the East Coast. I did fifth. I got 15th.
Okay.
They out of I think there was like 38. There were records apparently for our trail that were broken
Oh
because
wow.
every single person caught fish. I think there was like one person that only caught one fish. Um, but at
They
the
they they might need your glide bait.
dude, um, like I was trying to upgrade all because all the fish were small. You know, they were all like 15s, 16s, like a lot of 12s, 14s. That was what the majority of fish were. But like the amount of fish entries, it broke a record for our trail. It was incredible how many fish. It's like usually if with our trail, if you catch a limit, you're doing pretty good. But that day, man, it was like everyone was catching limits. It was like the first, like the top 30 something caught limits, and there's only 38 anglers. And so,
y'all have Angler of the Year and championships and all that.
So we've got one more tournament in 2 weeks. It's going to be on Blue Cypress, and then we have our championship, which is going to be in St. John's River. A lot of water's opened up in the St. John's for us, and so that's going to be the champion. I've never fished St. John's. I qualified for the championship. Right now, I'm sitting in 4th place for AOY.
Okay.
I've got some work to do in the next tournament though to keep my running. It'll be a miracle if I.
Hey, I was in 6, and then I had to miss a tournament, and so now I'm in 12.
It's tough, man. It's you any kind of footing, and it's hard to make up ground.
Yeah.
But
I'm just trying to get back in the top 10.
Yeah. It's right now. I'm sitting in.
We have our own tournament called Elite 10 Tournament. Okay. So I'm just trying to get back into the top 10. May 31st, that tournament that should whip me back up because I plan to win that one. I'm gonna say it right now. I plan to win that one. So
heck yeah.
Because I'm gonna be throwing something magical that they haven't seen yet.
Yeah. So you're gonna do it, man.
If I could get in that top 3, I should be back in the top 10, which the Elite 10 tournament is right after the championship tournament. So it's pretty neat that we do.
You're gonna get those big bites.
Oh, you're gonna see them. You're gonna see them because I gotta do video. I gotta do video with the lure in his mouth. You know.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that'll be good. So, right now, yeah, I'm sitting in for Rookie of the Year. I'm in 1st place for Rookie of the Year. This is my 1st year of fishing like a trail.
Oh, that's awesome right there.
So Lord willing, I can hold on to that one.
You got it. You got it all day.
Yeah.
But not gonna hold you, man. I wanted to say thank you again for coming on and spilling us the beans.
No, I appreciate the opportunity.
Showcasing your talent and your skills and your artwork and creativity for us. And before everybody leaves, make sure you jot down this website, guys. Jot down the website. Not just go visit, but go and buy. Go and buy. Don't just visit, but go and buy.
A lot of orders that I do are completely custom. So like if you got like a color scheme, like an idea of a bait, a lot of people just give me that idea and just let me run with it, and we'll turn up something that's awesome and that's gonna catch fish. And so if you don't see anything on the website that you like or want, then shoot me an email or a text. Then we'll get you sorted out and painted up and get you on some big fish.
Oh yeah, we're on our way. Well, not gonna hold everybody. Just want to say thank you again for tuning in and to Set the Drag podcast with Sean Johnson and Grange, our special guest out of Florida. Now, y'all take it easy, and we will see you guys next time. Peace. We out.
See ya.
Thanks, boss. Now look, let it download. And